Welcome to Smart Economics, and here are your top business and startup news. No deal between US and TikTok as asset sale deadline nears, says reports. Short-form video app TikTok and the Trump administration remained at odds over sale of the company's US operations late friendly as a deadline loomed. According to a source familiar with the matter, the Committee on Foreign Investment had given TikTok ByteDance until midnight to come up with an acceptable deal to put TikTok's American assets into US hands. Talks between TikTok and government negotiators will continue even after the deadline passes, and people in the US will still be able to use a popular smartphone app for sharing video snippets, the source said. Salesforce to buy office chat app Slack for $28 billion. Salesforce said on Tuesday that it would buy workplace software company Slack for $27.7 billion in cash and stock, the latest in a wave of deals as the pandemic used demand for tools that enable people to work remotely. It completed the acquisition will end Slack's brief run as an independent publicly traded company. It went public in mid-2019 and cap an acquisitive streak by Salesforce, which provides marketing and sales software, with its largest deal since it was founded 21 years ago. The deal is the biggest bet among a recent spate of acquisitions made by tech companies to capitalize on the shift to remote work. CAIT asked ED to take strict action against Amazon for alleged violation of law. Traders body CAIT on Sunday said it has written to the Enforcement Directorate seeking the strict action against Amazon, claiming that the e-commerce measure has caused misery to small traders by resorting to predatory pricing. The Confederation of All India Traders CAIT said it has written to ED with all the necessary details to prove that since beginning of Amazon in India in 2012, it has brazenly and flagrantly violated the laws, rules and regulations of our country and has caused misery to crores of small traders by resorting to predatory pricing, who are sought to be protected by the FDI policy and the FEMA rules and regulations. FDI equity inflows into India crosses $500 billion milestone. Foreign direct investment equity inflows into India crossed the $500 billion milestone during April 2000 to September 2020 period, firmly establishing the country's credentials as a safe and key investment destination in the world. According to the data of the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade (DPIIT), the inflows during the period stood at $500.12 billion. India received $144.71 billion from Mauritius and about $106 billion from Singapore during the period under review. US ends exchange programs with China, calling them propaganda. The US State Department said on Friday it has ended 5 cultural exchange programs with China, calling them soft power propaganda tools. The department said on its website it had terminated the policymakers' educational China trip program, the US-China Friendship Program, the US-China Leadership Exchange Program, the US-China Trans-Pacific Exchange Program, and the Hong Kong Educational and Cultural Program. It says that the programs had been set up under the auspices of the Mutual Educational and Cultural Exchange Act, a 1961 law signed by President John F. Kennedy, and aimed at boosting academic and cultural exchanges with foreign countries. Coronavirus aid. Democratic leaders back compromise bill. Yesterday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced their support for a split the difference compromise bill put forward by a bipartisan group of senators. Some details. The price tag is $908 billion. Republican leadership wants a $550 billion package, and Dems have favored one closer to $2 trillion. Mark Zuckerberg and Dropbox CEO have been close friends for years. Dropbox CEO Drew Houston and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg have apparently been friends for years, with the former often turning to the latter for advice. Zuckerberg's given me a lot of advice just on company scaling. How do you organize people? How do you set up these systems? Houston told Bloomberg in 2015. That same year, a Fast Company profile on Dropbox described Houston as a close friend of Zuckerberg's. The pair has been photographed together everywhere, from Houston's birthday party at a ping pong club to the prestigious Allen & Co. conference in Sun Valley. This past February, Houston was appointed to Facebook's board of directors. How one company reached revenues of $200 million without VC money. Nextiva, now north of $200 million in revenue, the company is a quiet giant and notably has not taken venture capital funding along its path to scale. Given how frequently conversation in the tech press concerns funding news, it was a refreshing break to talk to Nextiva and how it managed to scale without leaning on high-burn growth and external capital. Chatting with CEO and co-founder Thomas Gorney, I got to dig a little under the skin of the company's history. It goes a little something like this. After moving to California in 1996 at the age of 20, Gorney eventually founded a web hosting company in 2001. After working for tech companies during the dot-com boom, the web hosting company wound up selling to another company called Endurance International in 2007, which sold as combined entity for around $1 billion in 2011. Later, going public before being taken private last month for $3 billion. You can read this TechCrunch piece that mentions Endurance from 2010 off the historical record. SpaceX launches new Cargo Dragon to space station for 100th successful Falcon 9 flight. SpaceX launched its 21st Commercial Resupply Services (CRS) mission for NASA to the International Space Station on Sunday. Using a brand new variant of its Dragon capsule spacecraft, this new Cargo Dragon has greater carrying capacity and can dock fully autonomously with the space station. Both improvements over the last iteration. This is the first launch for the redesigned Cargo Dragon and also the first mission for SpaceX's new series of CRS missions. Under a renewed contract with NASA, it's carrying 6,400 pounds of both supplies for space station and its crew, as well as experimental supplies and equipments for the research being done on the station. This version of Dragon can carry 20% more than the last cargo spacecraft from SpaceX, and it also has twice the number of powered lockers for climate-controlled transportation of experimental material. Snowflake CEO makes $95 million a month and $1.1 billion annually. Just 2 months after the cloud computing startup went public, we wrote about Snowflake back in September, after the cloud data warehousing startup went public, raising nearly $3.4 billion at a $33.2 billion valuation. The maker of cloud data software made history after its stock popped 104% to $245 in its first trade, making it the biggest IPO pop since at least 2008. Fast forward 2 months later, there is a new report that Snowflake CEO Frank Slootman is ranking in millions of dollars in a monthly payout. According to the Detroit News, Slootman now collects a compensation package that earns him $95 million per month, or about $1.1 billion annually. Pfizer CEO says there is no assurance that vaccine can prevent coronavirus from being transmitted. Since the coronavirus pandemic began at the beginning of this year, the whole world has been waiting patiently for the vaccine to provide some kind of immunity against the virus so people can return to their normal lives. Now that the vaccines are here, it seems things may never return back to normal. To date, more than 274,000 Americans have died of the deadly virus. Now, it turned out there's no assurance that the vaccine we have all been waiting for can prevent coronavirus from being transmitted. In an interview with the Dateline host Lester Holt, Pfizer chairman and CEO Albert Bourla said it's not clear if the company's coronavirus vaccine will be able to stop spread of the virus to other people. He said the company is not sure if someone can transmit the virus after vaccination. That's all in today's video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon